Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Spirituality for Badass Babes. Today, I have the beautiful, badass Stacie Johnson with me, which is a mindset coach and a hypnotherapist. Welcome, Stacie. How are you?
Thank you so much. I am doing wonderful, and thank you for having me.
Of course. So Stacie and I actually did a session before recording this podcast together. And I would love to lead you guys through how the session went, share a little bit about my own experience with working with Stacie. And just to first off, let's start off with what hypnotherapy is. I'd love for you to start it off. What it is, how we go into these different altered states, and then we could share about my experiences as well.
Yeah, sure. Hypnotherapy, there's so many myths around this, and it's also based in science. So hypnotherapy, just think of it kind of like meditation with a goal. I did not coin the phrase. Grace Smith actually did, but it is. So if you've ever meditated, just think of it taking a little deeper. And then when you do it with a guided facilitator, you can go even deeper to resolve the problems because you all have the answers within you, right? So hypnosis is, think about how many times, just kind of give you an example of me feel like, how many times have you driven across town and realized, I don't remember passing Main Street? You were in a form of hypnosis at that time. So what it is, it's just an altered conscious state where you're going into the unconscious, bypassing that critical factor of the conscious brain, to allow you to obtain the answers that you want. Does that answer your question?
Yes, beautiful. And what do you see mostly with your clients? Because you are a mindset coach as well. What do you mostly see of what kind of things can people fix with hypnosis? Like you always hear people like trying to lose weight or trying to beat addictions. Like, can you do anything and everything with hypnosis?
You can do many, many things with it. A lot of clients that I see they come to me for focus. I have a client with ADHD, and he's really trying to be able to focus and just keep a schedule in the day so he can have a successful day within his job. I have a client that has some bad habits they're trying to change because it's sabotaging the income they can make. When you create these bad habits and these patterns and cycles that you're like, oh, I didn't realize these little things are actually adding up to thousands of dollars you're not making because you're not paying attention to those habits. Confidence is another one. Being able, entrepreneurs will come to me for confidence because they want to be able to show up fully and authentically in their business. And if they don't have that confidence behind them or they have that imposter syndrome, we gotta, it's a learned behavior you learn somewhere along the way. So we're changing that and we're relearning new behavior so you can fully show up. But that is just like the three big ones that I tend to see. But you can also do, stress management, like you said, weight loss, smoking, just some people use it for spiritual aspects. There's just so many things that you can do with it.
That's beautiful. And I've been hypnotized a couple of times previously to our session. And our session was really special because usually like I'll try a hypnosis, like there's tons of them on YouTube and I love like self-guided things. But whenever I do a self-guided one, I always fall asleep, no matter how long or short the hypnosis is. Always fall asleep. Like I cannot get through an entire hypnosis or like a past life regression. I always fall asleep. Anyways, so yours was guided. However, I felt instead of me getting into that theta state, I still was fully conscious, which was beautiful. Still, you and I were communicating, we were talking, you were asking me questions. And a little background story of the hypnosis that we did was my fear of public speaking. And I've talked about my fear of public speaking multiple times on this podcast, on many videos that I've done. And I just always had this knot in my throat. And I've done tons of different meditations, tons of work on the throat chakra, opening the throat chakra mantras, like tons of work on it. Yet I was just speaking at a Napoleon Hill event recently. And the second that I picked up the microphone, I felt my voice tremble. And I was like, oh crap. So that's something that Stacie and I worked on. And we really got into the deep roots of what it is that's holding me back of not showing up to my full potential. And I saw this little gremlin, like that's the only thing that I could describe it as, this little white gremlin, and it was judgment. Like that was my judgment of myself, judgment of what people will think of me, judgment of what am I thinking of myself, like just pure judgment. And then while we were doing the session, it turned into this ball of green energy, which was just love at that point, and love and compassion for myself, because I know what I'm doing. Like we have, like Stacie was saying, we have all of that wisdom within ourselves already. We are the creators of our lives. We have all of it within ourselves. So just turning into that love and compassion. And it was such a beautiful session. Like, thank you so much, Stacie, again, for allowing me to experience that, because it was not only empowering for myself, and like I just spoke publicly yesterday, not only empowering, but like knowing that just a reminder of I can do this. Like I am at the end of the day, this beautiful creatrix of my life. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And the thing to remember with these things, I hear this, a lot is, I've worked on that. I've already done the work on this and that, but there's so many layers to it that, it's like you start cleaning house sometimes and you don't realize how much dust is there until you start cleaning. So we can clean out this layer, the first layer, and then it's like, oh, well, there's this other little thing. And you don't realize it's there till you remove that object. Like you don't know there's dust under the couch till you move the couch, right? So that's the same thing here. It's like, you can work on your confidence, work on your public speaking. And then there's other limiting beliefs or those thought patterns that you learned somewhere that's still kind of lurking. And it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. It's just a pattern. We're going to stop that thought process. We're going to stop where you have those little whispers that say you cannot do this or you should not do this, because your brain's trying to protect you, and creating a new brain pattern, a new thought process. So now when you grab the mic or you're trying to do a live, on your Facebook page or your Instagram to show up for your business, now you're like, I can do this. It changes that self-talk, that inner dialogue that sometimes we don't even realize is going on until we go into the subconscious mind and talk to that part of you that is creating those little whispers.
So how can someone easily reprogram their own minds to get rid of those whispers? And like, what is something someone can do at home easily without having to get hypnotized or without going through this entire process or trying to fall asleep, trying to do it all on themselves? Like simple, quick tips of how they can reprogram their mind so they can switch that script and say, you know what, I can do this.
Some couple of quick tips that I'll give you, and albeit they're not as powerful as doing a guided session, because when you're in a guided session, you're not trying to analyze it and, figure it out and get the answers at the same time. I'm a mindset coach and hypnotherapist, but I also see a mindset coach and hypnotherapist, because as I want to work on things, I want to get to that resolution faster. Like we live in this microwave society. I want it now. But, if you're not ready to take that step and dive in, do take a few minutes, maybe journal it out, just sit with your mind, peace and quiet, take a few deep breaths and say, you know what, why am I feeling this way? Why is this coming in? And just see what kind of naturally comes up without analyzing it. No judgment, whatever comes out, just let it happen. Then once you get that figured out, it's like, okay, well, this is what I'm seeing for now. And this is at least the surface level stuff that's coming up. Try mirror work. Look in the mirror and give yourself a new perspective and say, I am a phenomenal public speaker. I am great at showing up with confidence so that my audience can see who I authentically am and they can relate to me. Say whatever you need to say in the mirror. Look yourself in the eye, which can be very uncomfortable. I know I have struggled with that sometimes too, but just it takes practice. Think of it like exercise. You don't go to the gym today and all of a sudden you walk out and you're like, hey, I've got the figure I want. This is the same thing. It's a repeated process. So journal it out is one you can do. Take that information, do some mirror work, check in with yourself, talk to yourself, and make sure you stop and listen when that dialogue comes. Say, nope, I'm stopping this. I'm not going to allow that to be. It is no longer it. And then try repeating it in a positive manner, reframe it for yourself.
Yeah, that's the important thing, like reframing that mindset. And I talk about this all the time. It's really up to us to take a look at what those beliefs are and how can we rewrite that story so it's something positive, instead of thinking like, crap, I'm so stupid. How did I do this? Why did I do this? Rephrasing that as, you know what, it's okay. Like, I forgive myself for doing that. It's okay that I did that. How can I learn from it and get better moving forward? Like, it all comes down to really focusing on your mind, focusing on reframing the words that you're speaking to yourself, because words are spells. Every single single word is so important that comes out of our mouths, and we don't even realize it. We'll be beating ourselves up. We're our own worst critics. We beat ourselves up all the time. It was funny just today, actually, I received a video and I said something completely wrong on the video. I said the name of my book wrong on the video. And I was like, I'm such a dummy, but I said it laughing it off. But even saying something like that, like, I'm such a dummy, that's me saying negative affirmations onto myself, which could result to me going down this negative spiral over and over and over again. Instead, say, you know what, it's okay. I messed up. Laugh it off, shrug it off, and it's okay. Everything is okay.
Absolutely.
Going back to that love, going back to that forgiveness. Thank you so much.
100%. Yeah, because your brain, it believes what you tell it. You know, so if you're saying out loud, I am so stupid. Well, first of all, why are you being so critical of yourself? Would you say that to your best friend? Oh, you're so stupid. You just said your book wrong. You know, and somebody used the example with me recently. Would you say that to your grandchild? You know, I have grandchildren. It's like, no, I would never say that to them. I would encourage them. So why am I talking to myself, my inner child, that way? You know, because my brain's going to believe it. And then because your brain wants to make you right. It wants you to be correct at all times. So then you're going to start actually creating those habits. They're going to be like more of mistakes and more of those errors. That, you know what, I made a mistake. I love and accept myself for that mistake. It's okay. I'm not perfect, and move on.
Yeah, definitely. It's so important for us to take that next step of moving on as well, forgiving yourself, loving yourself, adding kindness to yourself, and then just moving on. Like, it's okay.
It's okay to let it go. Just let it go. And I think that's something that we feel like if we're letting it go, then we're not admitting that we had a fault. It's like, no, I've already admitted it. I'm giving myself grace, the same grace that I give other people every single day. So now I'm going to move past that and be like, this is what I learned from it. This is what I'm going to do going forward. And this is how you change it. And that's when, if you see that it is a repeated pattern, it's like you're struggling and the self-learn and self-help is not working for you, get the help. Find you the hypnotherapist that can get into the subconscious mind and change those patterns. Because in the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, that is where your patterns, your beliefs, your habits, your memories, they're all housed there. So to make the shift there, you have to go there. And it is just much easier. Like, I listen to self-hypnosis every night, and you're right, I also fall asleep. But I also listen like throughout the day too. Those I don't tend to go to sleep on. But when I want to do the deep work, you're like, I have a session scheduled tomorrow. I message her. I'm like, hey, you know, I really want to stop this thought pattern. I want to work with us. She's like, all right, we'll get you in. And so I made the appointment. I'm not above saying I have these mistakes. And I also feel like it's very important that I am walking the talk. If I'm expecting you to hire someone like me, then I also need to be doing the work.
100%. And I love that you mentioned that, because I mean, I'm a spiritual business coach and I have a spiritual business coach as well. Like, it's so important that, like, we're always up leveling. Every single one of us, we're always growing. We're always evolving. If we're not growing, we're dying. And we need to remember that at the end of the day, yes, we are still human, but there's different ways of having, like, how you called it, this microwave. We want things now. Like, there's different ways of getting to that process. We hire coaches as coaches so we can get there faster. And this 100%. Is what we want to help. This is what we want to help people do as well. Like, this is why the coaching industry is blowing up so much right now, is so we can help so many people, like, cut their timelines of how long they start their businesses, they get confidence, they beat addictions, whatever kind of coach you want to hire or need to hire. Like, there's different options for you. Like, you are not alone in this, no matter what. So good.
100%. Yeah, because that's one thing that I hear all the time, especially from business coaches or marketing coaches, is like, oh, my mindset, it's perfect. I'm great. And my first thought is I'm calling bullshit. Sorry. But because first of all, if you think that your mindset is 100% perfect, then that is the first sign that there is work to be done. And doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. There's just growth. There's room for growth there. There's a reason corporations never give you a 5 out of a 1 to 5 score. You always get a 4 because they always believe there's room for growth. And people with a growth mindset understand that. Business coaches hire business coaches. Sometimes they hire business coaches that also do mindset work. But when you get with somebody, a hypnotherapist and mindset coach, like what I do is, we can take you to that deeper level, because I'm not here to focus on your business. I can help you actually implement every bit of the strategies that you're going to learn from your business coach, because now you're going to stop those sabotaging behaviors when you're not following through, you're not showing up for your business, and you're like, oh, okay, it'll be all right. No, you need to show up fully, authentically who you are. And I can help you make those shifts from a deeper mindset work.
Beautiful. So how did you get started in hypnotherapy? Like, did you have a beautiful session and you're like, this is what I want to do? Like, this was amazing. What was your calling?
My calling was, honestly, I had lived for decades with severe anxiety and PTSD. I had been in and out of talk therapy for years. And, there is a study that shows it takes 600 sessions of talk therapy to get a 38% result of a given topic. That's like 10, 11 years of your life. That same study also shows it's for 6 sessions of hypnotherapy, you get a 93% recovery rate. But I had gone through therapist after therapist, and yes, I feel good for a little while. I'm not knocking therapists, because it did help me, but it didn't resolve the issue that I needed resolved. I was on medication. I did all the things that you're supposed to do, quote unquote. And I finally found a therapist. And because it was getting to the point I didn't even want to leave my house. The anxiety was getting so severe. And I found myself having a complete meltdown in the bathroom crying just because my husband was watching me get dressed. And I thought he was hurrying me and he hadn't said a word. So I found a new therapist and she's like, have you ever considered hypnotherapy? And I'm like, no, but at this point, I will try anything. And that is the unfortunate part. I am one of the big statistics of people that we wait till it's the absolute last resort before we do this type of work. Within just a couple of sessions, I do not recommend it necessarily, but I stopped taking all my medication. I stopped everything because I felt that good. I was ready to leave my house again. And it's been over 4 years and I have not had a single PTSD symptom. Very minor anxiety, the normal I'm feeling kind of anxious about. I got a lot of work to do, but not that thing in the pit of your stomach that's shaking you, that is causing you to like your heart pound and you can't hear and you get that tunnel vision because the anxiety is about to take you into a severe panic attack where you think you're going to have a heart attack. I have not had one of those in over 4 years. And I thought this is such impactful that people are out there suffering needlessly like I did for years. I have to learn how to do this so I can give this gift to the world.
That's beautiful. And congratulations. That's amazing that you have not had any of those symptoms. So piggybacking on that, what are some of the benefits of hypnotherapy? We kind of chatted about that in the beginning of like different things that you can heal, but what are some, like if you consistently do hypnotherapy once a week, twice a week for the next 6 months, like what kind of lifestyle changes are you going to start seeing? Because similar to meditation, for example, if you start meditating every single day for the next 6 months, you're going to see a tremendous lifestyle change. What is that like in hypnotherapy?
You're going to like experience your days in a more calm fashion. You're going to be more relaxed. You're going to be able to manage your stress because we can't avoid stress. It's everywhere around us. You're going to be able to manage that better. Your physical symptoms of, life is going to be at a calmer state and balanced is what you're going to experience. You're going to have more clarity in your life. You're going to be able to just have a better outlook on life in general. Be able to wake up each day and know, okay, this is what I want for my day. This is how I feel. I'm clear, I'm focused, I have clarity, and I'm calm. And no matter what comes at me, I know you have that confidence that you know that you can handle it.
That's beautiful. Everyone should get a session and book one with Stacie because she's amazing. So do you have any final tips, tricks on mindset, hypnotherapy, any other kind of tips, tricks that you can give the audience?
Thing I'd like to everybody kind of really take away with is understanding that because you're doing self-improvement, mindset work, you're doing these things, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. It is okay. My philosophy is I want to be better today than I was yesterday. So just go into your life thinking, okay, what can I do? Even just one little thing, can I do better today than I did yesterday? Maybe it's being more consistent with whatever your practices are, whether they're spiritual, maybe they're your health habits, whatever. And these are things that if you're doing self-hypnosis, do the recordings. There's tons of them free on YouTube if you want to. There's apps out there. One of them that I use is Primed. Use these apps and allow them to make transformations in your life at a cellular level so that you can go throughout your day knowing, okay, I've got this covered. And then when you're ready to do the deep work, call me.
So how long does a regular hypnosis session last? And if someone is looking to do them self-guided, what do you recommend them starting at? As how long? Because on YouTube, they have anywhere from like 10 minutes to like 2 hours. And that's when I fall asleep.
Exactly. Most of my sessions, after your first session, your initial session is always so much longer. But after the third an hour is how long my sessions last. So when you're looking, you're first starting, what I like when I'm using an app, I like to look for those quick 10, 15-minute ones. And the reason being is because everybody is so constrained on time. So you have 10 minutes, even if it's at the end of a lunch hour, take that 10 minutes, listen to an app, listen to whatever your favorite video is. And okay, how do I want to go back and finish my day? How do I want to go do this? And just, if it's, I need to relax, I need to de-stress. Maybe it's, okay, I'm getting ready to go into a presentation. I'm going to look for a quick confidence booster, whatever, do those things. And 10, 15 minutes will reset you like this. And you're gonna be like, I'm ready to tackle this and move on.
And can everyone get hypnotized?
Pretty much. There are very few people that cannot be. The only ones that they have said that may be a little different are people on the autistic spectrum. Outside, everyone can be hypnotized. The thing with hypnotherapy, if you want it, you don't even have to believe in it. But if you want the desired outcome and you want it to work, it'll work.
So it goes back to that mindset. It all goes back to mindset.
It comes back to, what do you want? What do you really want? If you want this, even if you don't believe in it, you're not even sure how it's going to happen, don't worry about it. Go into it, say, I want this. I'm choosing this for myself because I'm choosing me. It will work.
So good. All right, Stacie, thank you so much for your time. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? And where can they get more information about you?
Absolutely. Instagram, you can find me at Stacie Johnson, LLC. On Facebook, I am Stacie J. And then I have Facebook group, Living Life Out Loud with Stacie J.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Stacie. This was so lovely. And I hope that more people want to experience hypnosis for themselves, like an actual guided session because of this, because it was absolutely magical. And I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Are you tired of hustling and chasing after your dream clients? Well, I've got the solution for you. This free workshop will reveal a simple way to magnetize your business and easily attract clients into your energy field, because attracting business growth should be fun. To watch the free workshop, go to aniahalama.com/attract-not-chase.